As you go through in life, no one really talks to you about the reality of losing friends, especially the ones that you grew up with. And it's one of those things that's very difficult to deal with, especially in your 20s. I want to, in this video, touch on the reality of losing your friendships in your 20s and what you can do to try and build new and better ones. I want to tell you about the key features that I look for in a friend and how you can start to find some good friends today and build a better social circle. The 20s are an age in your life where a lot of things just seem to happen at once, especially after you leave university. And a lot of the times, your friends, especially the ones you grew up with from school, they suffer as a result. And a lot of the time, it's just due to time drifting apart. You get so busy with your job or your studies that you don't really feel that you can make time for anyone else. And so that's where you need to be mindful of that. And a lot of the time, it's not your fault. But I feel like sometimes you've got to make more intentional choices because as people grow up, their true nature starts to become more and more apparent. Now, some friends are amazing for you. They may just be people who are there when you need them to be. They tell you as it is. They don't sugarcoat anything. You want these type of people by your side. And again, sometimes the best friends are those who actually tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But there are a lot of friends that you may have growing up that you may need to cut off because maybe they don't bring the right energy to you. I don't believe in this law of attraction stuff, but I do understand that everyone brings a kind of positive or negative energy with them. Over time, you'll see consistently how some people will bring the right or wrong type of energy. And it's up to you and no one else to decide whether that energy is good for you or not. Believe me, I've known people who can bring a lot of negative energy because of a lot of emotional trauma and just always bringing the vibe down. Honestly, in the long term, you don't want to be around these people. You want people who have a healthy balance of optimism and skepticism, but also it can help if you have people who are friends who are very positive and very optimistic because that can actually feed off on you. I used to be a very cynical person. But as I've worked on that and hung around more positive people, I can see that that infectious energy does start to feed off on you. If you know people who maybe you're with them because it's cool to be with them, or you don't feel like you can get anyone else, but they bring you down, they bring the vibe down, they don't really have your best interests at heart, get rid of them. And honestly, you shouldn't blame yourself for having to remove people who aren't fit for your life. This is the bridge. You kind of need to decide who is for you and who is wrong for you. You'll also come across new people on the way as well, so you'll find a chance to hone your friendship building skills. But the negative consequences of cutting off people is that you can feel more lonely and isolated, especially if you feel you need to cut off a friend who has been quite close to you. It does have a detrimental effect, and you should spot the signs early. In this day and age where we're very scared to go outside and be social people, we often find ourselves trying to create those online friendships. In my opinion, they don't replace face-to-face interactions, real kind of genuine stories that you share. So my solution to this is quite simple. Number one, touch grass. Get outside and start trying to be social. There's a lot of random conversations that I've started simply noting what someone is wearing and saying, hey, maybe you've got a cool design on your shirt. These small interactions are really what makes life worth living. And that's also how you can find friends. Funny story. I know someone who lives near me, and I met them in the gym one time. I had to spot him, and then we built up a friendship from there. He ended up moving near me. Now he's actually someone who is giving me advice on my career, or someone who could be a mentor. Chance friendships like that can happen out of nowhere. And also, another piece of advice is, let's say you were a really popular person in school or university or college. I think there should be quality over quantity. Let me expand on that a little bit. Instead of trying to build and maintain 10 friendships, I would say that you want to have 2 to 3 real close, deep friendships with the people you trust the most. You can still be friends with other people. I'm not saying you either have to be a deep friend or get cut off, but keep 2 or 3 people really close and make those deep friendships. Try and see them once a week or once every couple of weeks. try and call them or message them or talk to them every now and then. Ask them for advice on things that you need help with. Because these people, if they're there for you and they're genuine friends, they can sometimes give you the best advice and give you a perspective that you hadn't even thought of. Especially if you're in your early 20s and you were the popular kid in school, don't try and chase that old school time dynamic. People have their own lives, they have their own problems, they have their own set of worries. In school, you don't have a lot of these worries, when it comes to like your career choices, your finances, all that stuff. But in your 20s, they become amplified. And you have to figure these things out a lot of the times on your own. But even as important as it is to try and build a good set of friendships, you need to know how to talk to these people as well. Because if you don't know how to build good conversations with them, it's going to be very difficult for you to have a memorable, amazing friendship. So if you want to know how to become better at speaking to people, to build more friendships, you're going to want to watch this video right here to tell you all about how to do exactly just that.